The old model, until just 20 years ago, the old model of helping troubled children, seriously troubled, with their sense of terrible disconnection with their body for whatever reason that might arise. The old treatment used to be, look, we know most of you are going to get over it at puberty. We're going to support you. We're going to, minimise the distress and so on. And yes, 3/4, sometimes 80, sometimes more than that % in the big clinic studies get over it. Now, in the last 10 years in particular, there's a new model that dominates this field of gender dysphoria in children. And that is to say, no, if they say they're a different sex, we must affirm them as such. We must believe them. We must then usher them down that path. And the first thing you do is puberty blockers. You stop them reaching puberty. Why? Well, because puberty will be distressing for them. Their breasts will start to grow or their voice will change. Must stop puberty. Well, folks, puberty was the cure for their confusion in 3/4 of cases. And what are you going to do? You're going to stop them reaching the point at which 3/4 of them would be cured. That is the most bizarre medical approach that I can imagine. And then after that, we know that only 2% of children who get onto the puberty blocking train ever get off, whereas 75% of children used to get off the gender confusion train before. Those 98% of kids these days go on to cross-sex hormones, which have their dangers, increased blood clots and down the track heart disease and bone disease, and above all, infertility for these kids when they grow up, and sexual dysfunction, quite grave harms that we cause these kids with the best of intentions because we think we're saving them, from mental health problems and suicide.
Yep.
But the most important thing for your viewers to understand, Lyle, is that this claim, which Greenwich himself makes, that you must push children down this path for the sake of their mental health and preventing of suicidality, is simply not sustainable on the medical evidence. This is the big news in town. In the last 3 years, that whole transgender tide has been turned around, not by politicians, but by doctors and by serious clinical studies which show you cannot claim mental health advantage from this current pathway of gender transition. You cannot. You cannot claim reduction in suicidality. The evidence is simply not there. This is systematic reviews of all medical evidence done in Sweden, England, the Florida Medicaid. These massive reviews of the medical evidence show you cannot claim improvement in mental health or reduction in suicide by taking children down this path of puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones. Therefore, there is no medical justification for telling parents that this is what we will achieve for your child. None. No, and anyone who does is legally liable.